But
Okay.
I have to say that the focus is more like there's so many things for me to do. And
Yes.
it's so hard to like, okay, so when you sit down, what is the thing you're going to do? I mean, even this morning.
So maybe let's do a little thinking thing and then a doing thing, and they're both doings. But so if you think about what you, let's say what you think you would like to get done today. Okay, so, and then go ahead and just ask to coordinate and wonder. I know there's the list is long. You talked about there being a lot of things to do.
Okay, ask to coordinate.
Ask to coordinate, right? So that's something you learned in the intro series. Ask to coordinate, so your head can move, so all of you can follow, so you can decide what you would like to do. And that curiosity piece is really helpful in when you have a long list of have tos,
Right.
and you're not quite able to prioritize. It may sound like a get out of jail free card, but finding the thing you're interested in is a good idea. And then kind of gut checking it, like, okay, well, if I have a have to on this list, let's look at the have to. So do you want to explore that idea?
Yeah.
That want to, have to. So what on your list might be a want to and what's a have to?
Well, actually, the have to is I've got a 2:30 meeting today. I need to develop an agenda with a client for upcoming work. Oh, and I have to actually do a follow-up for the client yesterday. And then want to, even though I don't really want to, but I know it'll be beneficial for me, is to work on my.
So going through your to-do list and exploring a should is like a little tiny pink elephant. It's like, I want to do it, or like a should is I don't really want to do it, but I have to do it. So a helpful process to go through is to say, okay, what do I want about this? So you mentioned getting ready for a client meeting at 2:30 today. So let's just kind of zoom out and think about what would be not just beneficial, but what you want in that meeting and what that meeting is for.
They kept finding, they wanted a level of creativity and they kept finding solutions, but it's like, if you'll ask us what you're wanting, we can work with you and then we'll find a solution, because the solutions they frequently, at least 2 or 3 times, they come up with a solution that actually was very difficult for us to implement. And it's like, well, what are you trying to achieve? What is your goal with this? So to have this meeting be able to kind of set that, and I could just say that's part of making sure that I have an agenda and kind of own and lead the meeting, that then we would be able to take it into the, it would set us up for success for both, all groups,
for everybody, right? So what if in that, talking to your client about, well, it sounds to me like you want to sort of show up as the expert creative team, which you are, and be able to facilitate their creativity in the best way possible.
Right.
So what I did there was I took some of your language and I took a little bit of the non-constructive thinking out of it.
So what was
so that there was a little bit of, we don't want to do what happened last year. And I want to make sure they know that that it's gonna be different. So, and there may be some of that, but in terms of setting the stage for championing yourself and your business in this relationship, it could be a helpful tool. So does it make sense that kind of like when you recognize in yourself that you might get a physical cue or a mental cue, that when there's a heaviness around should or have to,
right,
that coordinating with your whole self can open up new possibilities of
I mean,
choice making.
It's so interesting. I mean, that, and even just thinking of like, I can't, I like have to do 5 different ways. I mean, just
Yeah.
thinking about, it's like, okay, doing that physical action and then pushing down, just that as a mental reminder of that whole body, because it feels quite good.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll just keep saying the kind of thing I say, which is we are designed for movement. We're always moving.
Yeah.
And sometimes a should or a have to or a buckle down or a put on my thinking hat or a focus can stop movement. It's like we put on a parking brake in various parts of our bodies.
Yeah, I could see that, because I'm like, okay, I'm really going to do this now.
Right.
As compared to, okay, let's get to it.
Right.
Yeah.
So now that so a moment ago you said you wanted to work on your agenda. Is that something you'd still like to explore?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you need to do to make that happen? Or
Actually,
what's the first step?
I need to go get myself a big glass of water.
Great.
So I'm gonna go
I'll
do
see you
that.
in a sec.